แล้วเขาก็จะดูแชทได้แล้วใช่แล้วโอเคมันจะมีใครว่างเวลานี้ไหมล่ะไม่รู้สิก็นี่ไงสตรีมอยู่ตอนนี้ไงอ๋อไม่รู้ Hello everybody. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Got the stream in time. Yes. Yes indeed. Simon, you will be my background audio while I take a shower. Enjoy your shower, I guess. มีคนบอกว่ามึงจะเป็นเสียงพื้นหลังในระหว่างกูอาบน้ำอยู่โอเคขอให้สนุกแปลกมาก hold on, let me notify everybody in the server that the stream is happening, and then we can get right to it. We have quite a bit of a fun topic to draw today, so okay. There you go. Who are you talking to? My girlfriend. What was that language? Thai. That's Thai. What time zone are you in? Currently it's uh 7 p.m. So it's quite well. Oh my god. T-Man. T-Man Gaming, thank you for the 11 12 euros. Appreciate it. In lab, can't stay, gotta go. Much love, bye. Oh, thank you very much. Well, hope lab goes well. Take care, take care. But yeah, thank you, thank you. It's 4 a.m. here, goodness. But yeah, it's quite a reasonable time for me to be streaming, so yeah. But yeah, anyway, so what we're gonna be working on today is, well, last time, uh, ที่รักพวกเขาบอกหวัดดี She says hello. But yeah, last stream we drew this, right? As the first scene of the 12 that we have to work on. So today we're working on another scene, and I felt, or what I felt motivated to do today was working on the this scene right here, operating on a mage. But that is still very loose, so we'll have a lot of fun thinking about what this operation actually is. What kind of operation are we going to be drawing? And also the kind of inspirations we're going to be taking, because I want it to have a very clinical, sort of like unnerving mood that you might like a horror movie hospital scene kind of deal. Silent Hill Hospital, maybe. Not the rust part. Well, not even the color. Okay, that's not a good example. Uh, Connor, thank you very much for the $5. Appreciate it. Are there magic male enhancement surgeries in this world? Asking for a friend. I mean, technically, yes, but I will not elaborate on that because I don't think that needs to be elaborated on. But yes, technically, there that it no no here I'm not saying that it exists in the world. There's nobody doing it, I don't think, but it is possible technically, but it doesn't exist in the world. It doesn't exist in the world. Maybe the rich. Who knows? Maybe I don't know, but no. No, nothing like that exists in the world, but it could, but it doesn't. But it definitely could. Uh, but what was I gonna say? Right. The mood of the scene. I was sort of having this idea of like a very sort of greenish, bluish hue in the scene, or like a very clean looking scene. Not how do I the one in Jacob's Ladder, like the movie Jacob's Ladder, the hospital scene, that one wasn't green, but still the mood of it felt right. I sort of want that kind of mood. Like the Jacob's Ladder movie operation scene, like that one. No, how you doing? I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking. Is it natural? Like it's a part of metamorphosis or whatever it's called? No, 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 it's not. But yeah, let's get right to it. So, um, guess let's write out some things that I want to accomplish with the scene first. So, first of all, it's an operation. So, that means the patient's hopefully not dead. So it's not an autopsy. An autopsy would be like the diagram that I did of like the mage getting cut apart. He's dead. But an operation would be hopefully on somebody who's not dead. Things we could operate on. Oh, first of all, mood. The mood that I want would sort of be uncomfortable. Uh, บางทีมันเกิดขึ้นอยู่มึงแค่ออกแล้วก็เข้าใหม่มันจะรีให้ Hi everyone. Hello. Welcome back. Yeah, you gotta. Sometimes it happens. I don't know why. Is it a rough or careful kind of surgery? That's the kind of thing we're gonna be thinking about. So I want it definitely to feel uncomfortable, to sort of feel eerie as well. And is stark a descriptor? Well, like like the feeling of a fluorescent light, kind of. Even though fluorescent lights don't exist in the world, I want that sort of like, what is this location? Like the location doesn't even feel, it feels off compared to the rest of the world that's sort of dirty and gritty. This is like stark, clean. But not like clean, incredibly clean, but clean enough to be an operating room. And is there anesthesia in the world? Here, so okay, do we want anesthetic? I don't know how to spell it, but or no. Do we want the scene to have anesthetic? Because okay, they exist in the world. That's for sure. There are things that numb pain. And the operation that I'm imagining would be incredibly painful. But here's the thing. Do we think as a this is for the Verusians, by the way. The Verusians would focus on doing like operation on mages and stuff like that. Do we think the pain is a part of it, like an initiation? Or are they giving them anesthetics and stuff? Maybe for like pillar men, it might be numbed and stuff, but for like the war dancers, I feel like the whole reason that war dancers came about was to punish the individuals that got turned into war dancers. So I feel like them not being numbed makes sense. Maybe anesthetics are not enough. Yeah, maybe. But okay, there's magic anesthetics as well. Like not like drugs that are magic that make you numb, but instead I was imagining this like cool scene of having an operating table that has like this weird helmet. Um this weird like helmet on one side where you put your head in, obviously. But what it has is like it has these two like not speakers, but they're connected to tubes that are routing a sound. Okay, I'm explaining this backwards. Vocalist mages the mages that use their vocal cords or song or sound to induce feelings. That's a type of mage that exists, and they can make people numb or fall asleep or feel certain ways, right? So they can basically cut out someone's feeling by singing a certain way. So you could just have headphones on a guy and have a vocalist sing to them, but not like the entire whoops, not like the entire operating room, because obviously the doctors need to not be numb. Uh, but you could do that, and they wouldn't feel anything. Medical medis what medically hairdresser helmet. Medically hair medical hairdresser helmet. Yeah, yeah, like the weird hairdresser helmet. Can the sing magic be put through a tube? Well, the same way that sound echoes. So you could definitely make like a sort of gramophone esque contraption that hooks up behind a wall to the next room. Um, because I want the sound to be localized around the person's head of the person who's getting operated on, right? Do they sing "Numb" the song then? There's a song named "Numb." Can the singing magic be put through to? Oh, right. I already read that. I believe that it would make sense uh, that there could be rituals and sedatives that help the pain, although I might be nothing more than placebo. Yeah, yeah. I mean, for Bruce, it's totally makes sense for them to have like a bunch of ritual surrounding the operation of mages, just because it's fucking Varus. There are several songs. I'd guess so. It's by Linkin Park. I don't know Linkin Park. Can vocal mages be conducted in the same way other mages can, or does vocal magic not require an output? I mean, the output is your vocal cords in this sense, or you do need modifications to allow it to go through those, or some use instruments as well. I still haven't thought it out properly yet, honestly. I don't know. I don't know what the limitations of vocal magic is, though I did imagine it being incredibly powerful because like most magic is sort of reliant on line of sight because you need to see them and aim your magic at something um to hit them. But with vocalists, you can affect an entire area without even seeing them, which is pretty strong. But yeah, anyway, what was I gonna say? Right. So the dilemma that I have with like anesthetic or not is because having it not be an anesthetic makes it like a more eh, brutal scene because the thing like the dude getting operated on is going he's fucking dying on the operating table, screaming his lungs out in pain. But if we give them anesthetic, it makes it less of a tense scene, right? It's more like quiet and eerie because the guy's not screaming. Uh, but the advantage we get from that is that he has this like weird head gear, like this weird thing on his head, which makes the scene like it adds a more interesting element to it, you know? Or maybe we can just have both. I can still stuff the helmet on the guy and still have him kind of screaming. Like it's still painful even through the music. I mean, the music can be effective, but not like crazy effective. Basically, the Jinx operation scene. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Yeah, mood, uncomfortable, eerie. It's kind of it. So the operations that we could have is putting in, so adding in and out, adding inputs and outputs. In and out is a restaurant, isn't it? I completely fair. Adding in and out, right? So cutting the slits to put the input and the output onto the body, which honestly is, it would be the tamest operation that exists for a mage because it's literally the first operation that you go through to allow you to use magic, right? So it wouldn't be, that's just like cuts and then stuffing like a metal bit inside you, and that's about it. We could do modifying somebody or modding into pillar. Uh, so modifying a mage's muscles, like cutting their arms open, pulling their muscles out individually, and then like using healing magic to grow the individual strands, which could be an interesting visual. We can play around with like trying to use like those contraptions that they use to like lengthen legs. We could do that, like lengthen limbs, and also use that same visual language for like the muscle growing apparatus, like something like this. Cut the arm open and then like pull each of the muscles out like that, right? And then like have these sort of metal rings attached to like an armrest or something that's holding up these like strands, like it has clamps on it that can hold the strands up to be operated on like that, and then have like brackets or braces to get all that like weird feeling. That could be fun. We could also modify someone to be, so modify into uh war dancer. So in this case, I feel like the the individual would be a lot larger, so they'd take up more space. The people in the scene would be smaller next to them. It would definitely enhance the, like it would show how far they've gotten a lot more than just like putting the inputs and outputs into somebody. This would like very much show like the, oh, that's a person compared to the other surgeons around the table that are dwarfed by the subject or the patient, who's just this massive hulking thing getting its muscles enhanced or something. Then we can also do adding additional organs, because something that magic allows is grafting. Same way as like Godric the Grafted. The reason that magic allows it is it's sort of, magic likes making things stay the way they are. So normally, if a limb like wasn't compatible with somebody because of the DNA or whatever blood type or blah blah blah, however, like limbs get rejected in real life because the body thinks it's a foreign body, so it tries to remove it. You could prevent that by basically pumping somebody through enough mana to stabilize that from happening, prevent that from happening. So you can add additional organs to somebody, which mages do. The tar eye, which is the organ that helps filter the tar inside the body out of the blood to allow you to cast magic more often. Uh, some mages implant themselves with more tar eyes to allow themselves to filter the tar more efficient or more quickly. And you can either have those organs inside you, or you can also have them outside of your body. So some mages would have these like jars or like cases that are like strapped to their bodies outside of them that have additional organs that are used to like filter blood or do more function. I don't fucking know. Hold more blood in general. Like just having more blood in your body is also good because it makes it so your capacity for mana increases. Colostomy tar bag. Yes, yes, yes. That's one of the references that I used for like some of the early designs that I had for this idea, which is basically they would like you can see it on some of the actually you can see it on the War Dancer. Hold on. I drew it on the War Dancer. I just never explained what the hell it actually was. Let me show you. Where is the War Dancer? There he is. Goodness, I put him on a huge canvas. But yeah, well, it's not really that visible in this image, I guess, but he has the tube here that's connected to like his abdomen, his belly button, that comes out and is connected to this like jar that's hanging off the side of his hip. And those are like additional organs that he has in like this metal jar. It'd be made out of metal. It'd be weird if it was made out of like clay or ceramic, because that'd be fucking stupid. Could Mu Ding become a witch hunter? Definitely. Definitely Mu Ding could become a witch hunter. Does the Tauri have any downsides? Not that they know of, no. Ceramic could work? How? I'd be interested to know, is like ceramic good for like holding shit like that? Because I was worried, if it's an organ outside of the body of the dude who's supposed to be really fucking tough, and that vessel that's outside of him can just be shot, and then blood starts leaking out of it, then, be effective against fire magic? True. I feel like they'd have to go, yeah, against fire magic. That's kind of something I haven't thought about before. You wouldn't want to go against, well, period. You wouldn't want to go against the fire mage, but those organs would definitely be cooked first if anything happens. So you might want to like put some layers of insulation. It might not like I haven't thought about the layering, but there definitely would have to be some layering, like more complex of a vessel than just a metal jar. Like there should be some layers of insulation, then metal, then I don't fucking know. Just why are his organs? No, it's not his organs. It's additional organs on top of his. What you doing? We drawing. Drawing magic operations. Extra organs. Yes, extra organs. Yeah, so what do we think? I guess like we can go fully like the whole way with like big dude, like big war dancer getting his muscles enlarged with the rings like that. And then we can have like the weird helmet that sort of has it might have like a sort of sleeping calming face on it, like a yes, peaceful, but underneath you can see the dude just like like gritting his teeth. He's going fuck, like he's absolutely dying. And then like his big muscles flex with the pain, and he's sweaty. And okay, hold on, pause. Four-armed war dancer, definitely possible. I was thinking about drawing a four-armed war dancer. I just didn't know, like four arms always to me gives me trouble because I don't know where the hell to put the other two, because you'd need all the muscles around it to help move the damn arm as well. So I never figured out where the hell to put it. Like there's some people that put a lot of effort into that thought and like made some really convincing four-limbed like alien designs and stuff like that where they have like all the musculature like uh put in the right places for it to work. Okay, and then we want the like colostomy bag thing coming out of his stomach. Ooh, um, let's think about what kind of equipment they would need to have around to actually perform this kind of surgery. Because obviously, you can't just cut somebody open and hope that everything goes right. There has to be things that are stabilizing him. So I think first of all, we would want something that gives them a consistent flow of mana. The mana is like the key ingredient in these operations that's keeping these damn guys alive, right? So we would want some sort of device next to them that gives them mana into their body without having them need to focus on it, right? Because normally with inputs, you'd have to focus on them when you have them on you. So maybe we could have some sort of mana boiler where it's like mana potion right here with a fire, like some sort of flame lit underneath it that's boiling it off into steam, releasing the mana into like a unfurled input on the top that then like uses a cable to connect it to them, right? And you can just keep refilling that with mana potions to get more mana into them. Oh, and also unfurled things is basically when you have a material and you put mana into it and then take it out again and put it into it and take it out again and just repeat that process over and over again, that material becomes unfurled. Basically, it becomes more susceptible to mana and likes to take in mana more. It becomes like a sponge. So when it comes to like inputs and stuff, it is very good to have inputs be made out of metals that have been unfurled so that they're easier at taking in mana. Like an incense? Yeah, like an incense. I mean, ooh, that could also be a part of it. Like, it's not just it's like a twofold thing. It's mana potion getting boiled off, but also it has like aromatics inside it to get the room to smell less bad. You know, like one of those rituals we talked about. Like Bruce just has weird rituals, so that would make sense. So yeah, incense burner, mana IV drop. Yeah, that would be like the essential thing that he'd have. Then I feel like because okay, if the body is like being operated on, it would create a lot of tar. A lot of tar would be built up. And I feel like the operation would take a lot longer than the tar eye that you only have in your body would, like the tar eye wouldn't be enough to sustain that much tar getting built up. So I feel like they'd also need tubes that basically route the blood out of the body to additional tar eyes in like a little case maybe, with maybe like sort of a like a fucking, what are they called? Like the pumps, the billows, like some sort of billows, looking like something that looks kind of like an iron lung. Uh, make him scoop it out with buckets. Well, the issue is like it's throughout the blood, which kind of means it's not like located in one location. So you'd have to, you know, scrape each vein individually. That's why it's such a nightmare to collect in like the field when the rats like scavenge dead mages for the tar in their veins to sell off or turn into, you know, tar, the drug. Um, refined tar. So a compression pump? I don't know what a compression pump is. I don't know any of the like a dialysis machine. I don't know any of the fucking science terms. I'll search up dialysis machine, I guess. Hold on. Where's my mouse? There it is. Oh yeah. Yeah. Pretty much like this. Oh god. No, no, not this. You just put a tar only tube and then you hire the rat catcher to be the one on the other end sucking it all up. No, that's horrible. Like hiding under the desk with the tube in his mouth, just sucking away. Surgeon needs to use their own tar eyes to help filter the patient's tar, which can increase stakes for the surgery themselves. Well, yeah, that would be interesting, though I doubt like it's just the surgeon themselves would most likely also be well would have to also be a healing mage because they're healing those parts the muscles to grow them larger, which means they're also casting spells themselves, which would like it would mean that they're building up tar as well. So the extra demand of having to take in tar as well, I don't think would be enough. You definitely still need like an outer or outside machine to help with the process. Although you could just have another mage, I guess, just standing around who's not doing anything and just plug him in to the like weird cycling blood circle. But that would be like I don't know how much of a good idea it'd be to have somebody else's blood cycle through your body just to deposit the tar. I don't know. I think the machine is gonna be just also aesthetically just having a machine there is nice, but also having people connected to each other via tubes is interesting as well. Hmm. I'll think about it. Yeah. So something like an iron lung that filters blood, so that have to be like connected to the arm, I guess, or what if it's operated on, they'd probably like tie it off so it doesn't fucking bleed out. No, it doesn't need the blood flow because the nutrients are sort of. I guess he'd just be bleeding constantly. Does he have enough blood for this shit? Do we need extra bloods? Blood bags. That's like a thing in operations, right? Like people kind of bleed out, so you need some extra blood to go around. Get a fat guy with more blood. I mean that would work. Why not graft it onto them? Actually, he uses Mario Paint. Why not graft it onto them? What graft what onto them? Like the additional tar eyes or like which part? Because you can graft additional tar eyes to them, but I feel like that would be like a whole different operation that needs to take place. So you'd well, I guess then like the the order of things would be completely different. If you were to operate on somebody's muscle, which would be very intensive for their body because their body would be producing a lot of tar, you'd preferably want to actually do the like the tar eye transplant on them first to give them additional tar eyes to like get them through the other operations. So we're doing it the wrong way around where they're doing the muscle transplants first before they have additional tar. It's better visually. Fuck, I don't care. The extra organs. Well, yeah, you can just graft them to their back. You can. But again, visually, if I'm trying to capture it in one image, I preferably want everything in front because I can't show his back and his front at the same time. So it's just for visual clarity. Otherwise, it would totally make sense to just strap it to their backs because that'd be safer than on their fucking fronts when they're in war. What if you sewed an additional leg on their back so they can't be pushed on the back? I yes. That'd be very goofy though. Like a tripod? Like they just have an additional leg coming out of the middle of their back. Is there a super awesome mage killer guy who collects tar eyes from mages he kills? I mean, there could be, yeah. I haven't thought of a character like that, but that is a possibility. Yeah, you can totally have somebody like that. I don't know what he'd do with the tar eyes. He could sell. Oh, he could have like little bags to keep them fresh, and then he kills mages and then just sells them back to Varus, who needs like a bunch of tar eyes, right? So that'd be good. Although most likely the place that he's getting the tar eyes from is from their own mages. So I don't know how Varus would feel about that. Dry the tar eye? You mean like tar eye jerky? Do mages good? They would taste like people. So if people taste good, then I guess mages do as well. What do dwarves taste like? We've talked about this before. I did a stream where I made a tier list of all the edible or all the creatures in the world, and we went through all of them talking about how tasty each one would be. And I think the dwarves were kind of high up actually, because it's like I think we talked about it sort of like a forbidden fruit where the it would be highly frowned upon to eat a dwarf, obviously, because they're like people, right? And you definitely get into a lot of trouble, but it it'd be thrilling. And also they're sort of insectoid crustacean-y, so maybe they taste kind of like crab or something like that, like a weird insectoid crab thing, perhaps. Okay. Does do you taste Okay, we're stopping the conversation there. Connor, thank you for the $5. Appreciate it. If you're balding, could you take the scalp of a particularly luscious haired enemy for a hair transplant? Yes, yes, you could. Um, I definitely do it if I had the opportunity. I definitely would want some luscious locks from the enemy side. Just scalp somebody and strap it onto my head instead. Well, I have to scalp myself as well and then replace our scalps. Though I'd have to find an enemy that has uh the same surface area of the a big head, right? You need someone with a if I have a big fucking head, I need to get somebody who has a big fucking unless you want like a I you could go wild with it, I guess, if you take multiple people's scalps and like sew them together and then put them on your head, then you'd have like multiple different types of hair growing out of different parts. You could have like get somebody with curly hair and just do like a middle section, like a line down the middle of your head, and then straight hair on the side. So you have like, I don't even fucking know. Like, what would that look like? You'd have like a curly mohawk in the middle and then like long, luscious hair on the side. Tissue alive through magic. Yeah, yeah. A scalp jack. Wait, hold on. I just registered that. What the fuck? A scalp jacket and then keep all the tissue alive through magic? I fuck. I mean, yeah, possible, but the that's horrifying. That's even worse than putting it on your own head. That's like levels of like skin furniture, like a scalp jacket. So the jacket grows hair and you got to cut the hair off your jacket. Like your jacket gets oh, that's awful. You could mix blonde and redhead scalps in for highlights. Yes, Connor, thank you very much for the $5 additional. And yes, that would be possible. Okay, let's move on from this. That's some Silent Hill level stuff. Yeah, I mean, you could technically do that with every part of the body. That doesn't just that's not limited to just the scalps. You could do anything and turn it into a jacket and then keep it alive. Why you would want to keep it alive, I don't know. You could just turn it into leather and then still have like a crude like serial killer aesthetic without the hassle of having to keep it alive. But I guess the keeping alive part is like the statement. Like that's the statement. A force. No. So does the magic make the body not reject the transplants? Yes, yes. It basically keeps things the way that they are. Like don't think that I'm having like I have like big science brain or anything. I'm pulling all of this out of my ass. Like none of it actually makes sense scientifically. It's magic, of course, but like if you're asking like, but how? I don't know. It just does. Cause I also explained something that it does, which is like if for example you cut a chunk out of somebody's leg, like if this is somebody's leg and they're like full of magic, like magic is coursing through their body, mana, I mean, and you just cut like a circular chunk out of their leg like this, bone exposed, everything, all the nerves and like muscles, like that, just a nice chunk. What would happen if somebody still has like a lot of mana flowing through them? The blood that is still coursing through them wouldn't just leak out. They wouldn't bleed out right away. The blood would weirdly enough still follow the original paths that the veins had. Like it still intends to do its original job and follow all those pathways. The longer it takes for it to like get closed up and stuff, it'll get worse over like less accurate over time. Some will leak, some will like go the wrong way and stuff. Uh and then like I'd say like I don't know. How long do you think it would take before that like dissipates and it basically you just still bleed out anyway? But for like a few solid minutes, I'd say it would still like weirdly follow the original paths. Thank you for the $5 again, Connor. Damn. Would the scalp jacket feel pain? Could I make it so it does? What the I mean, it's it's not there's no mouth on the jacket. Like I don't know how you would prove that the jacket who can't tell you how it feels, how you would prove that it feels pain. I guess if it winces? No, if no, not winces. Winces is a sound. I mean like flinches, like if it twitches or something. I don't know. You could definitely I don't know. I don't know if you could. You'd have to experiment, I guess. Uh Thank you for the $2, CB21. Why are you rat? Cause rats are cool. Uh, that's why I'm rat. Would the scalp jacket produce sweat? What? I mean, you'd have to. Okay, here's the thing. I think the scalp jacket issue is there's a lot of things that go into actually keeping something alive, you know? Like there's nutrients that need to be introduced into that thing and ways for the thing to digest those nutrients and stuff. So I feel like you could definitely make a jacket out of scalps and use magic to keep it alive, but I don't think it would be permanent. It would definitely start dying if you didn't hook up everything else that needs to be there for it to stay alive. So you could, okay, you could make the jacket, keep it alive periodically with magic, and then occasionally graft it onto somebody and just feed them really good so that they give nutrients to the jacket. Like if it starts turning a little gray and smelly, you're like, oh shit, I gotta find somebody to graft this jacket to refuel my jacket's nutrients. So you graft it onto somebody, feed them so the jacket looks a little healthy again. You know, the hair is not as crusty and like starting to fall out, the hair's starting to go luscious again, then you're like, okay, I can cut it off of them and then keep wearing it and go on with my day. Vampire's scalp jacket? Yeah, I guess. What kind of nightmare fashion is this? I don't know. Somebody suggested making a scalp jacket, and I'm just explaining how it would be possible in the world. It would be. Sounds like a plan. Reverse raincoat. You're always wet and bloody. Yeah. Do elves exist? Not. No. I tried to redesign elves like a while ago, and like went through a bunch of iterations, probably more than the dwarves, but I still feel like I haven't actually succeeded in what I want out of them, because it's so hard to do anything to elves without deviating too much from their origins and also not just turning it into another creature. The trap that I fell down on was like um I wanted to emphasize their elegance and like over the top better than you nature. So I made them tall as fuck and basically turned them into trees, like the nature loving part of them. But then it's just, that's just nymphs or like tree ents. Like that's not really elves anymore. As soon as I tried to add anything to spice up an elf, it stopped being an elf, which after a while was just like, yeah, this is not going anywhere, so I just left it. Uh, so yeah, don't know how to continue with that yet. If I get some ideas, maybe I'll go back to it. War dancers should have literally chiseled jawlines. I mean, they can. I don't think they'd have to though. I don't see the necessity of I don't know. They just have their normal face. If they had a jawline before, then they still have one. Although you can make a chiseled jawline for them. Maybe that's also some weird Verusian tradition where they're like all of our pillarmen need to be chads and mog the enemy team. So we just like add bone structure onto their face, like we heal bones onto their face so they have a chiseled jawline and constantly are mogging the fucking enemies. I mean, it's for propaganda purposes. I hate that, but it makes sense. Like the general public of Varus is supposed to idealize the Pillarmen, right? And what better way to make the 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 virgin, weak villager of Varus just be in awe of the Pillarmen would be to make them absolute chads. Just have chiseled jawlines, fucking etched in six packs and shit. You're right. I'm totally on board with this now, actually. Yeah, let's give them chiseled chins. Can we heal them in such a way that the skin is protected by a thicker layer of bone? Yes. Yeah, you could. You could definitely, like, you could, I guess, if you heal a part of the bone out to the outside, and then you could heal it into a plate that covers, so it is, like, rigid. You could do it that way. Like, you can heal a part of the bone out and then make it into a plate and, like, reinforce it. Or you could also just take a bit of bone, graft it to the outside, and then just grow it into a thick plate. It'd be wiggly, but it'd also just be a plate of bone. I don't know if they'd feel it or not. You could probably scrape off the nerves so they don't feel it. As I feel like it'd help for sure, but it'd be painful, like just to move around in general. So like an exoskeleton? I mean, not really. An exoskeleton helps you move as well, doesn't it? Because if it's just bone armor on the outside of your skin, then that's just it. It's just bone armor. It doesn't really help you move. I feel like it inhibit you even because like it's tough and rigid. So Do the war dancers wear supreme jackets? No, apparently they wear jackets made out of scalps. It regrows though. True, but I don't think it'd regrow that fast. You know? I feel like for the effort that you have to put into doing that, you'd be better off just giving him some armor, you know? Just give the dude some armor. God. Like poor guy. He has like broken bones on the outside of his body chafing against each other instead of just giving him like a plate, like just a plate of metal. Is cloning a thing? No. No, not really. It would grow in a couple of weeks? What kind of... I mean, does it? I don't know how fast bone regrows. I guess you could influence that. I don't know if like war dancers are inherently better at healing themselves. Maybe a little bit, but I don't think it's to the point where like they have like superhuman healing abilities. Yeah, or months. That's the issue. Like or months. Like do you want to have a war dancer that goes into battle, gets shot a few times and then has to go out of commission for like weeks or months before they can go back in with their healed armor? Or would you rather just give him metal armor, have him go in, and if the armor does break and he survives, he comes back out, they fix the armor and just send him back in again. You know, instead of having to wait for the bone to regrow. Just add more bone, duh. Well, yeah, but you know, there's a limit. Ribs grow back. They do. Just make the bones grow back faster with magic. True. Yeah, you're right. They could just go back and have a healing mage heal them. But then they'd need to rely on a healing mage. I'm just also like, how tough is bone? How tough is bone? Like, is it better than? It can't be better than metal, right? Or like iron or steel, right? Like, that's not right. Against bullets, how thick bone do you need to stop a bullet? Like a not like a high powered rifle, just like a musket round, you know? It's not bullet. Well, yeah, no, I know it's not bulletproof. That's why. But I mean, how much do you need of it to block a bullet? Teeth armor is even worse. It's cheaper though. What do you mean? It's cheaper. You need a like trained mage surgeons and a lot of like mana and materials to graft more bones onto somebody rather than just getting any old blacksmith to just hit a piece of metal for a few times to turn it into a suit of armor. Add a make a large cube of bone and add some human to it. That's a soldier that won't get hurt. Fair enough. Is necromancy a thing? No, not yet. People are trying, but not yet. It's kind of hard if you don't know what actually happens after somebody dies. Like, what are they trying to bring back? You know, is there a soul? Like, they haven't even proven the soul thing, even though they believe that souls exist and they have rituals around releasing the soul out of the body in funerals and stuff like that. But you know, it's not like a science. It's a belief. Could they grow metal? No, no. In ancient Roman, what in ancient Rome, gladiator sweat was sold as an aphrodisiac. Oh, you could do the same with the pillarmen as like snake oil propaganda kind of thing. Yum. What? How do you collect Roman gladiator sweat? Do you are the gladiators consenting? Like, is this? Wait, hold on. This is the original fucking bathwater, like e-girl bathwater scheme in Rome. We're going. They did it first. What the fuck? People were slurping up gladiator sweat. Like, I feel like that's even worse than fucking bathwater. At least like bathwater is like one step away kind of from the sweat part. This is like straight up sweat. Damn. But yeah. Oh, thank you for the $2. Happy nihilist. Appreciate it. Heard of the iron snails, living metal armor? Uh, the ones that are around volcanoes, like those. I mean, yeah, they ingest a lot of iron, so they like have it in their scales, right? I don't think they produce it themselves. They take it in, right? Can you graft men to animals? Could I have Centaur butler to ride around on? Connor, thank you for the $5. Um yes, you could graft people to animals. Although a centaur butler to ride on is a strange way to utilize that. Is a strange thing to use that for. So make war dancers eat metal. Huh? So like just have them consume like a bunch of iron and then just make it so they like excrete the iron out of their skin into scales, like metal scales. I feel like that's like the next step, isn't it? That'd be the next step. Like if we're going like they're develop I don't think I can have that now, but maybe in the future, I feel like that'd totally be a thing where it's like organic metal armor. Just have them sounds like a oh shit. You could go like full on have them be a lot more self-sufficient. Just give them like really tough teeth and like gut acids and stuff, and then just have them eat metal in the battlefield. Just they're eating a whole soldier for nutrients, like the whole fucking soldier, and then they just digest the metal and then just sweat like metal sheets into plate armor. That's wild. That's the next evolution of man there. Do war dancers produce the magic tar thing? Yes, yes they do. They also use magic the same as other mages. They use it more efficiently because the magic they use isn't that noticeable. They just use it to enhance their own strength and mobility and stuff like that. So they're basically just making themselves stronger. It's just physical magic, you know. So that means they're spending mana, which means they are producing tar. Like the guy who eats metals. I mean, I remember wasn't there a guy who was I don't know if he's dead yet. There was a dude who I remember from back when, you know, like world records were still like a big thing where people were like crazy about breaking world records and holy shit, these are world records breaking as many walnuts with my own nuts as I can in 10 minutes or something like that. There was a dude who just ate planes. He just ate like two planes, I think. Not like big planes, you know, like single person propeller planes, but he just ate fucking a plane. Uh because he had like really strong stomach linings and like strong stomach acid. He actually was able to like digest metal or something or aluminum or I don't know. He died he only did one, I believe. He only did one. Ah, what a loser. He couldn't even finish the second plane. I mean, if I was him, I'd totally just, you know, go for the second plane. But yeah, like he just ate a fucking plane, and that was his record. I doubt anybody broke it yet, because that's you know, like that's quite a dedication. He didn't like do it in one sitting, by the way. This is not like eating competition. He just sat down and just started from the tail wing and just went all the way to the fucking propeller, licking his fingertips at the end in like a 10 minutes or 10-hour session and just being like, I chowed the whole plane down. No, it took him like years, I think, where he just kept going back and ate a fucking plane. I just thinking about it, it's just so ridiculous. Like a dude just ate a fucking plane. Well, why? I guess just I don't know. His thoughts could use a dressing. It was a bit plain. Get banned. No, but yeah, that's a good one actually. How canon could lizards? How could the lizard from Spider-Man be? I don't think the transformation part would be that canon. Like he definitely not. I Well, yeah, he's stuck in that, isn't he? Yeah, you could definitely do that. You could definitely just like graft a person with some lizard genes and like over generations sort of turn them into that. The first generations would look a bit weird, I'd say, but then maybe it'll like even out. Did he drink the jet fuel? No, I don't think so. He'd huff it probably. Like that kept him going. He cracked open the tank occasionally, huffed a few fumes, and he's like, "Whoa, ready to go back in." You know, it's like having something sour next to your like meat heavy dish to like refresh the palate. You know, it's like sauerkraut next to some fucking God. I forgot the name of the dish. Holy shit. Schnitzel. Yeah, some sauerkraut next to schnitzel or some like just wash away the wash away the iron. Well, gotta go now. Okay, take care. Take care, Blade. Can we make sloppy girl? My god. Um are there cat girls in the universe? For someone. Ah yes, of course, for someone. Um no, no, there are no cat girls in the universe. Although you you could make some. You could definitely make some cat girls. I mean, I don't even think it'd be that hard. Knowing how magic works, you could literally just take a cat and take a girl and then just, you know, graft the ears onto the head and then just graft the tail onto their tailbone. And then that be it. Ta-da, you have a cat girl. But I feel like they'd probably have all the diseases. Like somehow that'll get all the diseases. No furries. No, it's too late. I've confirmed it. It is a possibility. Although it would look a lot more horrifying than what you're imagining for sure. Like I don't think they'd be happy about it, that's for sure. Dwarf girls are better than cat girls. Fair enough. Sounds like a plan. No, not everything's not a plan. We can't just women, what are those? I don't know, man. Beats me. I don't know. Have you ever played Outward? You mean like Outer Wild, or is Outward a different game from Outer Wild? Wolfman from Darkwood. Yeah, that definitely be possible. Yeah. Can you graft plants to people? Huh. That's I I don't know. You hmm. Y- maybe? That's actually an interesting question. I haven't considered just going for plants on people. Like what does the is does the body have like produce enough stuff for plants to be able to grow on them? You could maybe like make a plant that works on like taking nutrients from the body and then synthesizing like with photosynthesis doing something so it can like keep itself alive. You'd be hungry as fuck though, I feel like that burn a lot of calories to just have some plants on you. Or maybe it'd feed you. Like you could maybe I don't know. You can eat dirt and then be full because the plants do the plants filter shit, or I don't even know. But yeah, actually, that's really interesting. Yeah, plants grafted onto somebody could definitely be a possibility. I don't know what you'd need to do, but I feel like it would be possible, and that would open like a lot of doors. You could definitely like just make a bunch of like plants can be made into so many different things or made to do so many different things that having them on your body could open so many possibilities. Although I feel like I'd be stepping on Tree Lancer's shoes a little, because his world is all about like the muscle plant mix. I don't think I'd go that route. I don't think I'd go like, oh, you can make like muscle fiber plants that help you move things just because I don't want to like step over his shoes. I'd rather just go with like other things maybe like you can make bark armor like somebody suggested in the chat like just have a plant that grows into very thick hard sheets and just grow those on your body maybe. Or maybe like you could do like some sort of vine that grows like right under your skin and it wants to like keep everything together. You might have you might be able to do some sort of healing factor maybe where if you get cut the plants sort of grow over it to stop the bleeding and like overgrow that area to reinforce it. That might be interesting. Could you survive just on sunlight? I doubt it. I doubt that would be a possibility. I feel like it would be even more intensive on your body to have plants. I don't think they'd like help you. You'd have to help them stay alive. So you'd need to eat more and stuff, probably. Yeah, you could get the energy from photosynthesis and give the other nutrients to the plant in return. Yeah. Fungus grows on some fungus that helps the plant grow. Yeah, like fungus seems like an interesting combination. I feel like fungus would make a lot more sense with like the healing factor. I could see some guy just covered in like weird slime mold that's like running under his flesh or under his skin. And when you like shoot him, his holes just close up. Although that's going into like venom territory. That just look like venom. I'd have to try and not make it look like venom. I don't think I'd have the goofy head or like the mouth of teeth. Obviously, it'd be more just like fungus on the body, I guess. Cabbage girls? What? Mycelium? Yeah, yeah, like stuff like mycelium. His holes? Heh, childish. Goodness. Look up the emerald slug. IRL, an IRL plant animal. Okay, sure, sure. An emerald slug. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Also, we've gone way off track. I'm not even drawing anymore. Emerald slug. Oh, wow. Yeah, I feel like I've seen this before. I don't remember it, though. Wait, does this dude have, like... Does this thing actually photosynthesis... Do the photosynthesis-y thing? What's the architecture of war dancer hospitals? I feel like it'd be very blank. Like hospital-esque, just like non-decorated. Because the whole thing about Varus is that their culture is all about saving face. So if something isn't needed to be fancy, like uh the war dancers aren't there to impress the surgeons or anybody who would be in that operating room or in that location to make the war dancers. So it wouldn't be necessary to decorate the location. Inside at least. The outside, the exterior would be grand and opulent, but the interior would just be hospital because nobody cares in there. They're all making fucking war machines. Let me cook cabbage, but they look like girls, and you grow them to kiss. Okay, no, Connor, no, please stop him. Anybody, stop him before he keeps cooking. Stop him from cooking. Some animals can steal plant cells for themselves, I think. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, like the slug. But the look of the slug that you recommended, like the emerald slug, is amazing. Like they look beautiful with Like you can see like their veins or whatever the fuck that thing is on their back, like growing. Like it looks like a leaf. It looks awesome. Corals are animals but do photosynthesis. Oh yeah, right. I forgot about corals. Yeah, we can definitely do like an overlap with creatures and plants then in the world. The sea bunny? Oh yeah, I know sea bunnies. Sea bunnies are adorable. Love them. Have you heard of the iron slug? Yes, we have heard of the iron slug. Okay, let's get back on track. Let's keep drawing. Um, so what I was stuck on next with wait, are we done with this? I think so. We have the give mana into the body. We have filter um blah 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 into blah blah blah, right? Filter tar out of blood. Then last thing we would need is more blood for him because he'd be running out of blood. And also, we'd need food because he'd be digesting a bunch of like it takes a lot of energy, so we'd need some sort of like food tube going in as well. So God, this is a lot of devices. I feel like a lot of these would be off screen just because if I put all of them in the image, it's going to be a bunch of mess. So this is for food. And then we have blood, just blood bags or something. Just for extra blood. And temporary stimulants. Yeah, we can add those into the bloodstream. Just fuck it. Like, yeah, drugs. There you go. All the stuff. Okay, so now what how do you think the scene should be laid out? So let me pull up some references. I like this scene a lot from Jacob's Ladder. I feel we definitely want to take some inspiration from the lighting as well. The lighting just feels so uncomfortable, you know? Like this very dry looking, yeah, just dry looking. It all looks so ugh. Color wise, this one's great as well. The image is not clear enough, but the colors are good. So let me get this one too. Dim kind of tan lighting. Yeah, yeah. Or like this one's a little more like this one's warm, right? But this one's more cold. Like I feel like I like the mood. I like the mood of both, right? They're both uncomfortable in different ways. This one makes me feel a lot more like hospital or dentist, right? Like the dentist kind of feeling, which I hate. I hate the dentist, by the way, but hopefully like we can maybe embody some of that. But what I'm thinking is, okay, do we want the camera to be like for the best kind of view of everything? It makes sense to have him lay down like this, right? Facing the camera, and we just have a top-down view basically. This guy's laying down, and we just have the staff like operating on him like this, and we just have it top down, right? Which would be the best view of everything. Though I want to show some of the machines from like a bit of a side angle. So it could also be good to like tilt him a little bit so the camera's a little more like this. And then we'd have the scene be like that. Like that. So we see it's still like top down but more low. Right? And then we see the machines and stuff. We can also shift it to one side, like this, I don't know how that would help the scene, like what that benefits us. I guess it would make it feel a little more like we're present, because these ones sort of feel like we're watching it happen from a top-down perspective, like we're out of body experiencing the scene. But with this, it's like we might feel more like it's like we're an assistant in the operation, right? Like this. And then you can also have like the IV bag like off blurred in the corner, and then like see the machines better, like proper side views of those, and maybe have like a person blocking. It also, I feel like this would also feel a lot more claustrophobic, because we're seeing like a lot of things block the actual dude. Like, we can play around with that to make it feel a lot more oppressive. Um, but I also like this. Like maybe we could just do this, because it gets everything there's a bunch of people operating, or like a bunch of assistants and stuff that don't have to be there, but they're just there to crowd it to make it feel more uncomfortable. And the like the behind the head going down instead of from the feet up just makes it look like he's upside down, which just makes it more disorienting. And like the weird mirror thing here, can we just steal this? Like this whole scene? It's perfect. Just take this and just redraw it with the gurney like over him holding his head in place and shit. Low angle. I was thinking low angle as well, but like with low angle we're basically losing a lot of the readability of what the hell is happening. Like we could either do low angle from the side and just show the arm and like focus on the gore of the arm getting like cut open with the different muscles like getting torn up like this, but it would obscure the rest of the body, right? And like the rest of what's happening on this side. Um, then we could also do like a close up from fr- like we're at his belly button, like looking up, but that doesn't really make sense either. Yeah, like a theater. I feel like that makes sense. Like this is not just a operation that just happens. Like these operations are showings, right? There's like people that are learning from this and constantly studying it. Like the I guess it would also help show how un how like undiscovered or like untraversed of a field of medicine this is, where it's not just like, oh yeah, let's just modify this guy. Like every procedure is something new where they're trying to figure out and test new things. So there's a bunch of people around taking notes and testing things. So like it'd be even more concerning for the person going under, cuz it's not even like you don't even know if it's guaranteed to work, cuz you don't know what the fuck they're doing to you. Like every time they're trying something new to learn something new. Hold on. From British resurrectionists. Let me search that up. Yeah. Although we wouldn't like draw the whole theater. I feel like just implying it with like a crowd of people around would be great. Um, because if we do the whole theater, then it'd be too big of a scene, and like the focus would be less on the guy getting operated on. But yeah, hold on. Operation Theater. Wait, I don't know quite what you're referencing. Is it oh my god, this is this is that's a lot of pressure on everybody who's involved in the operation. Look at this shit. This one's like, yeah, that's a lot of people. Like everybody's arms over the counter or arms over the fence or railing, like staring daggers at the fucking operation. But then there's this other image which is even crazier. Uh, I didn't know that many people like were. Oh shit, this image is a bit big. Hold on. I didn't know this many people could be involved in an operation theater. Like, what the fuck? Those people at the top, like, what are they even seeing? Like, what's the point? I guess you can like the dude operating probably is like thoroughly explaining what he's doing, but still like that's a bad seat right there. You know, you'd want a front row seat for this shit. Yeah, like that's a lot of fucking people. I mean, it makes sense operating theater, but you know, like I didn't expect like that many like football stands level of of rows and rows of people just looking at one guy getting cut open. What do the high churches look like? I mean, this definitely feels very Verusian though. I love this. This is very Verusian. You know what I'd imagine? I don't know. Actually, hold on. I don't know if they would. Okay, Varus is very cocky and full of themselves, and they love trade, and they're a trade focused city. But when it comes to their studies, like creating the war dancers and stuff like this, do you think Varus would share those secrets with like the people they trade with? Because like, hold on, let me clear my throat. Okay, what I mean by share is like either they're very they want to keep their secrets, right? To keep the mysticism of the war dancers and the pillarmen, or do you think they go with the performance of it and they both like try to play the facade of these holy representations of humanity to the people of Varus, and then also behind the scenes sell those secrets to the countries that they trade with by basically giving like allowing their scholars to like to sail over to Varus to get an opportunity to pay exorbitant amounts of money to attend these operation theaters where they show their operations. That might be interesting too. Though I don't know if those two things can coexist. If both the mysticism of like the average person being in awe of these things, and then behind the scenes, uh, operation theaters with a bunch of noblemen and scholars from around the globe coming over to Varus, paying disgusting amounts of money to see a person get turned into a monster, right? Does that? I feel like that's an interesting thing, an interesting angle. It makes sense that they. It kind of makes sense. Like I'm on the fence if they would do that or if they'd be too like uptight with their findings. That was literally how it was back then. Well, yeah, then let's just go with that then. I feel like that'd be great. They're desperate for money for supplies. Yeah, yeah. I feel like that definitely be I for sure the other countries that are like uh that are in trade with them would definitely be hinting at it as well. I don't doubt that other countries that trade with them would be hearing of these monstrous war machines that Varus is creating and then being like, "Hey, I mean, we could lower your price. Like we can lower our prices if you just, share some of that with us. We'd love to see what you actually got working or what you got going on behind the scenes with that stuff." Like, Verse would definitely be willing to make a trade like that in desperate times. What if they fake it? Yes! Go even deeper with it. Fucking have Varus just bullshit it. I mean, would they risk? It'd be more interesting if they risk it, isn't it? Like if they play it just like, oh yeah, let's share our secrets, maybe hesitantly, but they still do it. That might be one thing, but having them like be uh maybe they don't do it like fully, they're just bullshitting you. Oh, then you stuff a carrot into the gut and that, helps them run faster or something. But just like lie enough for them to have trouble to replicate it, right? Like give them most of the like some truths and then some bad or wrong information just to throw them off, to have them be behind, right? Or just bad attachments. Yeah, yeah. Share some, but add some bullshit on top. Yes, I feel like that is very much Varusian. I like that a lot. It definitely get back, or it definitely bite them in the ass later if the other countries are finding out about it eventually. But it work for the time being, and I don't think Varus would have the foresight to think about or to consider the consequences then. Like they'll probably think like, oh yeah, we'll bullshit our way out of it later. Trade relations and all that is such a like tight-ropey kind of game to play. They could definitely also they can also just play it off as, well, we didn't know either. Like it's something we're experimenting with, so we just discovered that we did it wrong as well. It's such an experimental field that getting things wrong would be expected. Not everything's understood yet, so it'd be, yeah, like I don't think the other countries that are getting bullshitted would be able to like uh use it against Varus and like telling them, "Oh, you've bullshitted us." How about inviting surgeon researchers and Mahitians into their scholarship, but then never letting them leave? Has that happened before? I mean, I feel like they definitely allow other countries' people to work for them as well. But yeah, maybe that would be some sort of contracted thing where they'd want to avoid people actually working for them and then just leaving after getting information and then just sharing it with the country they came from. So they would want them to stay. Is that a thing they could do? I mean, yeah, it's definitely a thing they could do. What if they like one dude who had there's like one dude who attended as surgery and managed to replicate it just enough to make like a Franken mage. Ooh, that'd be fun. But what would other citizens think if they hear that other countries are making messed up versions of something that's holy to them? I mean, I don't think that they would be like, I don't think they would believe that the Varusian version is less holy. I feel like they would probably like Varus as the country would definitely spin those stories as other countries are trying to make crude imitations of our, beacons of hope and stuff like that. To spin it like it doesn't make it sort of elevates their own success in creating them even, because it makes it like bootlegs. Right? It's like, look at how these other countries are trying to replicate our success and they're failing. So I feel like it make ours look even better in the eyes of the people. Like they definitely spin it that way. Can you do these surgeries on dead bodies, or there's no mana, so no? I mean, you can, but they're dead. So, like bringing people back from the dead isn't a thing yet. They haven't like nobody's figured that out yet. They certainly tried, but it hasn't been figured out yet. So it's kind of a waste. I guess you could to a certain extent practice on a dead body. Um, it depends how long they've been dead, but you could definitely practice. Can you ride war dancers into battle? Depends on the war dancer, I guess. If you can convince a war dancer to let you ride their back into battle, then yeah. Fish eye is insanely hard to draw. Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely a hard perspective to do. Is this fish eye? I don't think this is it? It's just the gurney is like, or is it? No, that's just the gurney's bar is like being curved, right? Because the people don't look fish-eyed to me. Looks like a wider lens. How human are war dancers? Do they speak or feel deep emotions? I've been going back and forth on it, on like how conscious war dancers are, because there's a performative aspect to their fighting. So they definitely need enough consciousness to be able to perform their dances, right? Uh, and in a war situation, if they're like having to coordinate with squads of soldiers, you definitely don't want them to just be rampaging, drugged up beasts that just kill everything on sight, because that would be unwieldy, right? That'd be more difficult than it's worth. So I feel like they'd have to be sedated, maybe, or like drugged up enough to get them to be mad, but not enough to like lose their humanity. Like there's still people in there. It's not like I don't think they talk dumb. If that like they don't talk like cavemen, you know? They definitely still talk normal. Maybe they have some trouble. Oh, uh, what could be interesting is like perhaps the side effect of or like a side effect of physical magic is that you have muscle spasms and very tight like your muscles are always like tensed and tight. So like talking might be inhibited because you're just clenching your fucking jaw. So it might be hard for them to speak just because their face is tense the whole time. Um can we give war dancers wings? Yeah. Yeah, you could. You just have to find wings big enough to strap them onto a war dancer, I guess. Like the muscles can rip out and snap. In like intense fights, I feel like yeah, they could definitely snap. I mean, a part of the procedure is enhancing not only the muscle, but you also have to like uh better the connections of the muscles, the tendons, because that's the first thing that's going to give out is the damn tendons, right? The connections to the bone. So those get reinforced as well to try and prevent that. But I feel like in like moments of like intense battle, it definitely be possible for them to like tear their own muscles in their rage. Um, I feel like they would fight like there's a control to them, but they definitely have that. You know how in humans we we don't use all the muscle strength that we have. Like even when we're like exerting our strength in like gym exercises or something, we don't go like full tilt the same way that like feral animals go, like apes and shit like that. That's why like even apes that are like smaller than people, they can like tear people apart because they don't like they just go full tilt, you know? They're not as concerned about like bodily harm to themselves. So I feel like with soldiers or like the war dancers, they'd be able to like just Like they could choose to use as much enough strength to tear out their own like tendons from their bone. Uh, it wouldn't be smart. Like they'd be able to do it once, but if they had to, they definitely could just go, beyond that limit, like limiting factor that we normally have, where we, don't destroy our own body in the pursuit of strength. Have you ever heard of Popeye muscle tear? You mean the one where the bicep tears away from the forearm and just like pulls up, like upwards and like clumps together? If it's that, then yeah. I mean, there's that video that circulates like from time to time of the dude who has did like the preacher curls, and both his biceps like tore at the same time and like pulled up. Um, that's still like I still haven't done preacher curls. I still avoid them for the life of me. I know it can't, like, it is rare, very very rare that it happens, and if you go reasonable weights and do it carefully and do it properly, there's zero chance that it can happen. But just the idea that it can means that I don't do them. Even if they could maybe be more efficient in like muscle gaining, it's just like it's not worth it. The mental image of it just puts me off of it. Connor should not be allowed near healing mages. Can you give war dancers udders? What the fuck? They can't make milk for the soldiers. No. I mean, yes, you could, but no. What the fuck? We need to lock Connor. Like, Connor is. I feel like Connor would be admitted into, like, accepted into Varusian medical school because of his enthusiasm. Like the people that choose who gets in would probably be a little questioned, but he'd get in. But then as soon as he starts spouting his ideas, he'd immediately be exiled. Like as soon as he gets access to those resources, he's like, let put some otters on the war dancers, and they'd be like, hold on, what the fuck? Like, no, I know, like, you are really skilled and have a vast knowledge of the field of magic medicine, but like, fuck no, we're not getting you access to the resources that the academy has. Like, what kind of abominations would come out of that? Make Connor canon in the universe. Just, I mean, just have him. He gets exiled from the. I mean, we're just doing a Singed storyline, aren't we? We're just doing Singed from League of Legends, or like the arcane thing, right? He got into the academy. He started doing some weird shit, alchemy. The academy didn't like it. They exiled him, like, get him out of there. And then he just started doing his own thing and gets funded by some shady, uh some other shady means, probably some other shady business people probably take him in and see the potential and are like, hey, Connor, we see you got an eye and a mind for innovation. We're gonna fund you. And that's where, like, the horrors of the trenches start coming, where sightings from ROMs start appearing, where they're like, we were attacked by a war dancer. Yeah, go on. But like, it had tits, like just massive fucking udders, milk spraying everywhere. And they're like, what the fuck is Varus up to? And then this might be the only time that the war has to cease, just for Varus to explain themselves and go, now hold on, we didn't fucking do that. Like, hear us out. That was not ours. That's not one of ours. Like, please, God, we don't do that. And they're like, Rom's like, I mean, we saw it. It's definitely, like, we definitely saw it. There was a war dancer with big old udders running around. It was like, and Varus then has to like hunt down you, fucking Connor, in the world, trying to find the culprit of who the fuck put like grafted udders to their captured war dancers. Glorious evolution. No, no, this is not glorious at all. This is cursed. Those heavies, though. No, don't call them heavies. Utterman, the Utterman. Peak writing. Yeah, but like the Gutterman. Oh my god. Imagine it as giant cow udders. Well, yeah, that's what I've been saying. Giant cow udders on a pillarman. Yeah, sorry. Back to the drawing. What are we thinking with the angle? I'm kind of stuck. Like I feel like the upside down is interesting. Like this upside down, and we can have it be at sort of this angle, just zoomed in. So just like instead of this whole image, we would just have it be like, oh, come on. Like just this part, maybe add some more people, even more clutter. But you can see the body. You can maybe see that there's like a hint of a crowd with like people's arms. It'd even be nice if we cut the faces off, like, or cut the screen off here, so you just see like the arms like leaning over the banister or the railing, just very intent or very interested. Just yeah. And let me something like this. I came here earlier today and heard you talking about the scalp jacket. I left for a bit, and now I hear you talking about Pillarman with udders. What the? Hey, look, it's not my fault, okay? You people encourage this sort of conversation to happen. Like if it was left to my if all of you didn't type and I just talked by myself, we wouldn't get to these topics. Well, I'd probably just be quiet. I don't think I could figure out things to talk about on my own, but you guys bring these up and then we just run with them, okay? It's not my fault. Viewers part of the audience. Yeah, yeah. It does make it look like the viewers part of the audience, you're right. So yeah, so it'd be this, but hold on, let me get this, put it here. I just want to draw over it to try and like, oh my god, he's tracing, cancel him. He's tracing a draw. That's forbidden in the art community. Fucking cancel him. But yeah, I just want to see what the image would look like if the body or if the person being operated on was bigger. And then like the weird helmet thing. I the thing is, this is gonna be a challenge just because I don't think I've ever drawn somebody from the top down like this. That's just gonna be hard, but it's gonna be a fun challenge. Like this, and then like the different tubes like coming off of him. Okay, like that, and then the surgeons would have to be a lot smaller. Or not a lot smaller, but and his little feetsies. And a piece of cloth to cover his junk. Modesty, I mean, goodness. There's other people watching. All the scholars, they don't need to see that. Like that, and then we can have like the boiler thing hooked up here, and like the blood thing, and like the blood bags like here, everything. There. Like that. I mean, it looks a lot. The issue is with like a wider camera like this, we do get the sense of like the theater, but it's a lot less personal than this. Like this feels claustrophobic and uncomfortable. This sort of feels less like we're less in the shoes of this guy and more just an observer of the scene, you know? With the closer up, it's like you sort of feel like you're this guy and you're like, I don't want to be there. From a scale of 1 to 10, how much attention do surgeons give to sanitation? I'd say like a 6, a 6 probably. Like I feel like they're starting to understand that sanitized things are better and cause less issues, but they haven't like done the full like, oh, scrubs, like gloves over gloves, don't touch the tools before the operation, sanitize the. It's more like a, okay, let me put some gloves on and then let me just rinse the tools in a fucking like in a sink and then just plunk them down and then just do with that, you know? So still some contamination, but they've started to get the idea that clean tools are probably a good idea. Made the shot from scalpel POV. Oh, that's ambitious. Having a hand holding the tip, and yeah, I know I can sort of think of what you mean with the scalpel POV. I can see it in my head, just can't draw it. Seems quite hard. You can have it so the stranger is watching it. Good point, actually. Good point. Hmm. That would be interesting. Of the stranger in the crowd. Although he'd definitely stick out like a sore thumb compared to all the scholars with their nice suits and then just raggedy guy with a fucking bag over his head with some like clown ears or weird horns, like horn socks with pom poms on the end. A lot of things like herbology had supernatural properties that we now know to be just chemical in nature. Maybe they have a ritual that all items used in this manner need to be plunged in alcohol. I I don't know if they figured out the alcohol thing though. Maybe they do just water. Maybe they do blessed water. Have somebody bless the water and just dunk the tools in that. And maybe do it like oh, they totally here's a good thought of how I feel like their level of hygiene would be. They would dunk or they would clean the tool in the same cup of water after each use, the same way you would do with a ice cream scoop in like those buffets where it's like in the cup of water that's sort of like grayish purple water and you just sort of shake it off and then scoop your ice cream and then put it back in that thing, you know, and the next person uses that, like that level. It's like, yeah, they get it. It's like it's got to be kind of clean, but definitely not close to the yes, alcohol stuff, you know? I feel like that's the level I want to have it be at. Boil water, remove the demons. Cursed Gatorade. Oh my god. I feel like I'd actually my skeleton would run out of my flesh if I saw somebody like pick up that cup of like diluted mixed ice cream and hand grease and drink it. That's an image. Oh, that could totally. You know what? I feel like with enough effort, you can definitely convince the youth and make that a TikTok trend. Like there's 100% people stupid enough to do that shit. If you just make it off as or make it up as being like the next cool thing and hip thing to do, drink the fucking weird gray purple water that the ice cream scoop is sitting in. It's definitely a TikTok trend. I mean, compared to what they've done already, I'd say that's pretty mild. You know, there's people going around licking shit in convenience stores and then putting it back. You know, and that's vile on a. I mean, that's like it doesn't affect the person doing it. It's just the most evil thing you could do. Like that affects everybody else who has to deal with that. You know, so I'd feel the opposite of that is licking something that everybody else has touched, which is the ice cream scoop. Now we know what's in the udder. No, 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 that's definitely not what's in the udder. Debate. Is it necromancy if the patient dies in fantasy if they're brought back? You mean like they sort of briefly die and then they like get resuscitated, like sort of come back to life? I don't think it'd be called necromancy because he didn't use like magical means to bring them back after they are dead and their soul has left. So you're preventing them from getting to that point, even though they might have gotten to it, and you like yank them back just in time. I don't know. Someone quick, make this a thing. Please don't make this a thing. I don't want to see more people suffer from idiot disease or whatever the fuck they have. Trends are god like every time I see a new trend from like TikTok and shit, I just like why? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like the cringy stuff and shit. I don't mind that because everybody was cringy when I was kid. I was a kid too. Like you just do cringy shit. That's normal. You know, it's just a different flavor of cringy. And now that I see it from an outside perspective, having passed that, it looks, you know, it's cringy and looks weird. But I can't judge him because that's just normal. But the fucking challenges, the ones that actually endanger people, like those are stupid. I actually hate the existence of TikTok. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind it. I just don't like the algorithm. That's all. Like as a content creator, it doesn't work for me for some reason. I said this before. I tried TikTok once, but when I post my videos, I can't find them because the algorithm's so heavy-handed with trying to recommend shit that you want to watch that you can't even find things. Even if you write out the exact video that you're looking for word, if it doesn't have enough views on TikTok already, then you just get recommended other shit in that category. You know, so like when I posted my own videos, I couldn't figure out if I accidentally made them invisible or if I did something wrong. Because when I searched on them with like an empty account or even on my own account where I posted them, I can't fucking find them because everything else was more popular. So it came first. I saw it first, even though the word is like I wrote it out exactly with all the hashtags or whatever. Like, it sucked. I just didn't like it. It didn't feel pleasant to look for things because I couldn't find anybody else who I wanted to either with like world building or looking for nicher channels or people. I can't find any nicher things because all of them were like, oh, here's the 10 million views first art challenge where the dude like throws a paint bucket at a wall and then smears it with his ass cheeks and it becomes a masterpiece or something. Instead of like I want like niche little world building things. I couldn't find them. You have TikTok? No, not anymore. I tried, but I didn't. Now I don't. Will you keep doing YouTube shorts? I keep forgetting that I should. Like I want to, but I keep forgetting. I never got around to it. It's like I don't know what I'd put into YouTube shorts, like just shortened versions of the things in videos. But I keep forgetting, keep putting it off for some reason. I don't know. Part of the ritual for the pillarmen. Yeah, having some sort of religious angle would definitely, because like the pillarmen and the war dancers are quite religious in nature, so some sort of some kind of candle motif would definitely help. Only not only just to like keep time, for how long the operations have been going on, but also candles are a very big religious symbol in Varus. So having some sort of candle, maybe with like the thing that falls out when the candle reaches a certain time, so you can like tell how long it's been, and just have one of those, and maybe some uh I don't fucking know, like that, and then like the sticks, the incense sticks, and then like a priest praying over it and shit, kind of stuff. Uh, do you think Warhammer 40K's medical practice is magic by now? Like all the spirit stuff they have to do turn on a toaster? I mean, doesn't the machine spirit or like uh that sort of stuff actually exist in the world? Like that's actually a thing. It's not just like a tradition that's just there because they believe it, but it actually works, doesn't it? I'm not like too informed about the Warhammer universe, because I know enough about it, but I'm not like a lore person, so I just know like the basics. No, it's just machines. Huh. What? You could have people dancing to distract people of Rom from focusing on the surgery. What? Backup dancers to a surgery theater is very funny. But no, I mean people from Rom wouldn't be allowed to attend it in the first place. It's a fucking war, or they're at war. I doubt they'd let the country that they're fighting against in the war hop into their medical theaters and see what they're working on. Or not ROM story. Or do you mean just in general to distract the audience? I mean that's so goofy. I love the idea, but I can't take it seriously. But it makes total sense for Varus, but it's so goofy. Have backup dancers, in a medical theater to distract the audience so they don't focus on the operation. This elaborate dances and musics right in front of their faces, and they're like trying to push them out of the way so they can see the operation, but all of them, like, they intentionally make it a dance performance where the dancers have like big ass like fans, like feather fans that they're feathering in the faces of the scholars, and they're, oh, what if they ask for donations as well? That piss people off even more. They're one of those like donation performances where they'll dance in front of you and sort of like hint at you, encouraging you, like, I mean, if you give me a little coin, then I'll get out of the way for you. that'd be so Verusian. The black wizard blood could leave acidic rainbows on the medical tools like a patina. Ooh, that is interesting. I like that. 40K machine spirits were a myth, but people believed them into existence. It's how the warp works. Oh, well then, yeah, it is sort of magic then at that point if they've willed it into existence and it works because they believe in it. So that's magic, right? Constant chanting in the background like in 40K. I don't Yeah, I feel like a droning prayer might make sense. Although would that fit like a droning prayer mixed with a dude slowly explaining the process that they're going through? If you give me some coin, no, no, stop with the utters, please. Never. I'm almost done with the. No, no. It drowns out the screams. I mean, are we still thinking they scream? I feel like they'd be uncomfortable and like groan and um maybe it'd be the same pain level as I don't know. Maybe it's a little too mild. Like getting a full body tattoo, like multiple tattoo artists working on you at the same time, with all the numbing things and the humming of the vocalist mage and stuff like that. I feel like it'd get down to that level of like multiple tattoo artists like working at you. It's still very uncomfortable and painful to a certain degree, but you're definitely able to bear it long enough for the operation to be done. Are there people that don't like the church? Well, yeah, of course. Of course, there's people that don't like the church. Of course, there's people that question the practices of the church. Though uh, people that are vocal about this disliking of the church, that is a little more rare. And people that are vocal about the disliking of the church and stick around for long, that is even more rare. They don't normally last that long. I would recommend listening to Abomination from a Vox in the Void. It is a 40K story about the creation of servitors. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll listen to it after the stream. I mean, actually, I might end the stream soon because I have some stuff to do with friends, and also I think I need some more time just thinking about this prompt. I like where we've gotten it because I wasn't or I didn't have that clear of an idea going into the stream, and now I'm quite sure of what I want, but I still need some time to just sort of toil away at it in my sketchbook and then get back to you with like a something that I can actually render out. Okay, let me write down that thing though so I can watch it. Um okay, thank you. Check the Discord. Why? What have you done? Where? You didn't at anybody. Or you didn't at me. Or where? What chat? You can have them smoke in the operating room? Oh yeah, for sure. Smoking is definitely allowed. Hold on. Smoking. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for now. Because if I keep going, I'm just gonna be scratching away at the paper, not really getting anything done. So I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. So yeah, guess see you in the next. Please don't check the Discord. Well, I did, and there's nothing. I don't know what chat to look. So that's it. Too late. I can't find it, or I don't know what I'm looking for. But yeah, take care, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for sticking around.